just an empty promise.
Why can't Canada have it? Why can the UK have it? Why can't we have it?
Democratic candidate Michael Bennet, who I guess is still running for president. I mean, when I searched his name up just to make sure he was still running, I got a football player instead of Michael Bennet, the candidate, just showing you how insignificant Bennet is. But he was on MSNBC with Katy Tur. Now, this is a rare example, an incredibly rare example of a cable news host challenging a politician from the left. Watch.
What you're talking about right now, it seems like you're saying that the democracy that we are currently living in, it doesn't work. It's broken, which calls for foundational change. But you're not a foundational change candidate. Why are you not a candidate calling for Medicare for all, like some of the other candidates? Why are you not a candidate coming out there and saying we need to fix Washington, and in order to fix it, we've got to change it from the ground up? Why are you still so in the moderate wing?
No, I do believe that. I actually believe I'm more of a foundational candidate than the ones that are offering Medicare for all, because I know that's just an empty promise. It's just an empty promise.
Why can't Canada have it? Why can the UK have it? Why can't we have it?
Well, it is different from what we have, from what Bernie Sanders' bill is to begin with. But there's an answer for that, which is we already have an existing health care system. And we can decide that we're going to spend the next 10 years fighting a losing battle for Medicare for all, or we can fight to restore economic opportunity for people. We can fight on the climate front.
All right. That was a great question, great pushback from Katy Tur there, and just a horrible answer from Michael Bennet. And you can really see he's not used to being challenged from the left, which is maybe why he gave a horrible answer. So first here, Katy Tur, this is so rare. I mean, she brings up the fact that the UK and Canada have universal healthcare systems. Why can't the US have it? Honestly, except for Ali Velshi, who's also on MSNBC and he's Canadian, except for him, I don't think I've seen anybody else in cable news challenge a politician from the left on healthcare like that. That was incredible, and I hope we see more of this, especially when it comes to candidates that actually matter. So if she's going to challenge Biden and Buttigieg the same way she challenged Bennett, then I'll give her serious credit. But she also deserves serious credit here as well for just challenging him from challenging any candidate from the left to begin with. Bennett now, though. I mean, where do I start with this guy? So he said, I'm actually more of a foundational candidate because you're not going to fight for things. So he claims, well, these are just empty promises. They're empty promises if you're not going to fight for them. But if you're going to fight for them, then they're not empty promises. So Bernie Sanders, for example, is building a grassroots movement. His strategy is to get millions of people across the country on board and to put pressure on politicians across the country to support an agenda for the American people. So, for example, he said if he's president and Joe Manchin, a Democratic senator from West Virginia, won't support Medicare for all, then Bernie will go to West Virginia, rally voters there to put pressure on Joe Manchin to support Medicare for all. And if he still doesn't support it, then Bernie will support a primary challenger against Manchin. No other candidate has that strategy, but that is a strategy that can be tested and we'll see if it works. But it is a strategy to fight and actually push this agenda forward. So the idea that you're more foundational candidate, or you're more of a foundational candidate if you're not fighting for anything, I don't really get how that works. So again, showing you Michael Bennet was not ready for this question. And then the idea on Medicare for all, Medicare for all is not the same as what the UK and Canada have. Yeah, because they're different countries, but they're still universal systems. The NHS and single-payer healthcare in Canada, they're still universal systems. That doesn't avoid the fact, just because they're different and not the exact same country, that isn't addressing the fact that Americans still are not guaranteed healthcare. I mean, there are so many. I'm just thinking back to all the videos I've done talking about healthcare as a Canadian that has experience in a single-payer system. I mean, there are endless benefits. But let's just first start with a systemic issue in America that other countries with universal systems don't have. So this from CNBC. A new study from academic researchers found that 66.5% of all bankruptcies were tied to medical issues, either because of high costs for care or time out of work. An estimated 530,000 families turn to bankruptcy each year because of medical issues and bills, the research found. Whereas in Canada and the UK, medical bankruptcy is not a thing. So how you defend the current system, this for-profit system, is insane. There's no way to defend this. So under a Medicare for All system, you take out the for-profit middleman, which is why the cost of healthcare comes down across the board. Canada spends half per capita than what Americans spend on healthcare. So you take out the profit-making middleman, costs come down, everybody's on the same plan, meaning your congressperson and the wealthiest people in the country are on the same healthcare plan as you are, also helping to bolster that healthcare plan. And on top of that, I mean, there's so many benefits. I can't go over them all now. I do it constantly, especially during my live streams. I talk all the time about healthcare because I get a lot of questions about it. But basically, it frees you up. So me as a Canadian, I never think about healthcare until I need it. And when I go to the doctor, I come home, I have a health card, I make same-day appointments, say I wake up feeling sick, I call my doctor's office, I make an appointment, go see my doctor that day. If she's not in or available, then I can go to any walk-in clinic, same thing, show my health card, walk in, walk out. That's it, no paperwork, nothing. I had surgery once. It was booked ahead of time. I went and got the surgery, I came home, that was it. No talking to insurance companies, no nothing. It's simple, it's basic. It takes, having it guaranteed to you really takes so much pressure off of your life, takes so much off of your shoulders, because now you are freed up to spend that time you would be using to think about healthcare to think about other things in your life, things you should actually have to worry about that are of your concern, that shouldn't be where healthcare shouldn't be taking up that space. So I mean, again, it frees you up in terms of your career. Say you're in a job you don't like, but you have healthcare guaranteed to you through that job. Well, now under a Medicare for All system, you can leave that job, you can go back to school, you can start a business, hire people, give those people healthcare or not give them healthcare because they already have it guaranteed to them, so you don't have to worry about that. Endless benefits. I don't even know where to end here. But basically, what Michael Bennett is saying is that because I'm not going to fight for you, then I'm not going to fight for these things. Now, yeah. That's it on Michael Bennett. Hopefully forever. There's no reason to talk about this guy anymore. But to get back to Katy Tur, this was fantastic. I hope the media begins to push back more from the left like this and begin to quash some of these moderate or conservative narratives like we saw on healthcare from Michael Bennett.